swoop in and package them up, including Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and they're making a fortune off of swooping up and getting the worst of the loans and patching them together and handing themselves bonuses for it. There's no oversight by Congress where there's supposed to be oversight in our system and a check and balance system. So we have these two runaway federally created companies who are peddling federal policies created in this whole loan scheme. And then I keep hearing the free market has failed. No, the free market hasn't failed. The free market responds to these things.
Well, let me say this. Most people that, well, I can't say most people, a lot of people that watch Bill O'Reilly on Fox look at him as a conservative. I'm going to run a clip of you. It's a minute and 15 seconds.
I even know what I said. Yes.
And get you to explain what's going on here. Let's listen to your comments earlier this year about Bill O'Reilly.
All right.
You drive in every day, or do you have a limo drop you off, moron? I drive to my office every day. And let me tell you something else, you jerk. You paid more in hush money for your little phone sex than I've ever earned. And you're going to lecture me and other conservatives? I don't think so. We're supposed to all line up behind the non-factor. The non-factor who doesn't know crapola about economics or history or law. And he is no conservative. He's another mainstream moron, phony journalist. That's what he is. Oh, and jealous like hell of Rush Limbaugh. Did you notice that? The cigar in the airplane. Let me tell you something else, jerk. You can't hold a candle to him. Now, how do I know this? Because the folk aren't listening to you on the radio. Your ratings suck. You have no... and you'll be gone soon. And by the way, when you're gone, I'll pick up any stations you have that are any good. Now get lost and get out of the way.
What is that all about?
Well, what you couldn't hear there was what O'Reilly had said. And he started attacking conservatives. Don't listen to them. They're liars on the radio. They call people socialists and so forth. He was attacking me. And then he attacked Rush, but he doesn't have the guts to name Rush by name. He's always been extremely jealous of Rush. You know, if you're going to attack the very people who are the source of your success, I mean, Bill O'Reilly wouldn't be on the radio and have a syndicated show but for Rush Limbaugh. And Fox is a terrific network. It is a terrific network because it does allow for both sides. And conservatives promote it all the time while liberals attack it all the time because, you know, it's not CNN and MSLSD. So if you're going to attack the very people who are paying your salary and make your career successful, you're going to get some brushback. You know, sometimes you can poke that stick in somebody's cage and they're going to let you poke them to death. If you poke that stick in my cage, I'm going to react.
MSLSD.
MSLSD. That's what we call what I call MSNBC, yes.
You do have names for a lot of people.
I do. I try to humiliate as many hard left types as I possibly can.
Why?
Because humiliation is very effective. And from my point of view, we're playing for keeps. And I'm writing a book now I'm not supposed to talk about called Liberty and Tyranny. And I see what de Tocqueville talked about, this soft tyranny starting to bubble up. The attacks on talk radio, the promotion of the fairness doctrine we're hearing about in Congress, the attacks on free speech in the sense of these political campaigns, demands that the Justice Department investigate private groups who want to run ads that disagree with you and mention Bill Ayers and so forth. These are extremely dangerous times if you believe in liberty and limited government. So I have to draw an audience and keep an audience, otherwise I'm talking to myself. And so I need to say things in ways that resonate, and to me that helps. And I'll tell you something else. All these people who want to steal my liberty and the liberty of many of your viewers, they build up this cocoon around them like they're supposed to be taken extremely seriously, that they're very serious people, and they're out there talking for the little guy and the middle class and the children, and all they want is what's good for us. Well, I got to peel that back. Their little PR types and all the other propaganda that they've built around them, I got to cut through all that clutter, and that's one of the ways I do it.
The Talkers magazine rates talk show hosts, and number one is Rush Limbaugh at 14.25 million people.
That's
Sean
wrong.
Hannity, is it bigger?
Rush is 21 million.
And they have Sean Hannity at 13.
That's wrong. He's at 14 or 15 million.
They've got Michael Savage and Dr. Laura Schlesinger at 8.25.
Here's the truth on the Arbitron numbers, which is the one that rates audience size, and I had them look at this. Rush is by far number one. Nobody's close. Sean is by far number two. Nobody's close. Wiener Nation, he calls himself Savage, but his name's Wiener. He's number three, and I'm number four.
They've got Glenn Beck at number 4, and they've got Laura Ingraham and Mark Levin tied for number 5 in this particular list.
That's all wrong.
You go back, and I saw some reference a couple years ago that you had a couple of million listeners. What has happened over this time? Why are you gaining listeners? And again, I go back to, are you doing it? Is it a technique, or is it just you?
We're at about 5.5 million listeners right now. About a year ago, we were at about 3 million. It is the fastest growing talk show in the country. And I don't say that because, yeah, we're the fastest. It just is. And I think this. I think if you work hard, and you have to at this, I mean, I'm not breaking rocks, but I mean, you got to study the subject. You're on the line a couple hours in my case, every evening. You know, if you sound like an idiot, then you're going to sound like an idiot. I don't have 10 writers like Jon Stewart or Steve Colbert or most of these anchormen who do straight news, so-called. I have me. I don't have research assistants. So I also come after, in most markets, Rush and Sean. So I have to have my own attitude, my own personality, and my own take on things. And you know, I remember saying to Rush a couple of years ago, I said, you know, what's the point of me doing this? You know, you're first, Sean second, then I come on, and he said to me, and I'll never forget, he said, Mark, but nobody's heard from you. And the point being, you're unique, you have your own personality, you have your own style, and that's why people are listening. The bottom line is it's no secret. You have to have content, and you have to be entertaining in order to keep the audience and grow the audience, because we're also a business. But having said that, I've taken my conservatism extremely seriously. I've lived it. I've served in the Reagan administration. I've served for Attorney General Ed Meese. I do run the Landmark Legal Foundation, and I take it just as seriously when I'm on the radio as well.
Speaking of entertainment, on your website is the following, and it's a little song that you have on the website.
What is it? Yes.
It's Kumbaya.
Yes.
We still have about a minute. We didn't run the whole thing, but let's listen to what your version of Kumbaya.
All right.
Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya.
Shoot them dead, my Lord. Shoot the enemy dead. Bomb them to smithereens, my Lord. Bomb them off the face of the earth, my Lord. Kumbaya. Rush them like the cockroaches that they are. All together now. Shoot them dead, my Lord. Blow them off the face of the earth. Rush them like the grapes that they are, my Lord. Kill them dead. That's right. All together now. One more.